Welcome everyone to today's live announcement. We're talking to Viggo Stenseth. He is the CEO and co-founder of SolvaPay, a Stockholm-based fintech building the financial infrastructure for the agentic economy. Oh my God, we are in exciting times. Before SolvaPay, he worked across Spotify and Handelsbanken, spanning both consumer tech and regulated financial services, giving him the perfect background for what he's doing today. Today, he's announcing SolvaPay's pre-seed round of $2.8 million led by Redstone and MS&AD Ventures. Welcome to the podcast, Viggo.
Hey Andreas, thank you. You got it all in there. That's great. Thanks.
Yeah, I try and package as much information as I can in just a couple of minutes. All right, Viggo, I could ask you a bunch about Stockholm. I can ask you a bunch about how everything's taking off in the Nordics these days. But we spoke about that just before we went live. Now we should talk all about SolvaPay. Tell me exactly, what are you building?
Great. We're building the payment layer for the agentic economy. That means taking care of both the buy and the sell side. What does that mean? Well, it means that if you are a merchant today, you have a SaaS digital service, I go out and say, you know what? There's a new customer that is looking for you, and it's not in need of a new pair of shoes. It needs your data set, it needs your API, it needs your specific knowledge and the analytics tools that you can provide. We enable you to sell that to agents in agentic systems. And then on the other side, you have the buy side. You have agents now that can analyze, it can write code, it can think for you, and it can act, but it can't really transact yet. So we bring two things to that. We bring identity, auth, and kind of security, who runs that agent, but it will also give them the ability to transact, give them means of spending. So we cover both sides of that as this agentic economy is taking shape. We have a lot of players in it, and we can dive into specifics of it, but it's really like enabling both the buy and sell side here.
And who are the buyers and the sellers? If you should describe the ICP here, is this Amazon for agents? In other words, it's anyone who has something to sell, and it's anyone who has something to buy.
Great question. We're seeing some patterns emerging. And of course, this is where we are right now. So builders, we have a new wave of builders. Anyone can be a builder. You can build a product now, and the cost is going to near zero. You can go from prototype to production, and now you're going to go to paid within seconds as well. So that means for us, it's also building a payment solution that enables builders. You don't have to do a lot of configuration. It's add a skill, add SolvaPay as a skill to your agent and tell it to integrate into whatever app you're building. So that's a part of it. At the same time, we also want to enable that builder and the next ICP, the SaaS owner, for what is coming. You have agents, they need your data set. They need to be able to transact on it and pay for it. So there are multiple ways we can enable that. We've really focused on like a cross-platform, cross-protocol level. So yes, you have your old sales funnel, you're selling a subscription over here. Let's enable that parallel thing, the agentic new revenue stream, where an agent on behalf of a human or autonomously can find your data set, try it, and if it likes it, you can actually buy it, buy more credits to use it, etc. So that's really like enabling the agentic sell side for the SaaS. And the third thing that this actually caught me from by surprise, because I thought this was further out, to be honest. From day one, when we looked at SolvaPay and thinking about how do we do agent-to-agent transactions, like the fully autonomous, so we were thinking about it, human in the loop, kind of hybrid, and then the fully autonomous thing is a little bit more sci-fi. That's at least a couple of months out. And here's the weird thing, like we have customers knocking on our door and like, we need this now. We're like, what? Okay, really? What does that look like? There's a common thing there, and maybe someone will recognize themselves in this. It's like platforms. You have maybe a creator economy. So one of our early talks is with a client that has creators building purpose-built data sets, dashboards, analytics tools, and they surface them through their platform. So this customer of ours, and they have a rev share model, and they want agents to be able to spend autonomously to do analytics and use these different creator built tools. And they're like, can you solve this? And we're like, yeah, that is actually a prime use case for an agent to agent. So that really caught us a little bit by surprise that they are actually thinking about this already.
Can you tell me, is this going to run on blockchain or does it plug into the existing financial rails?
For us, it's crucial that it fits and it plugs right into the existing financial rails. We're not anti-crypto. Stablecoins is getting adoption. There's, it's a little bit tempting to only go that route. We saw some other companies that went that route because you can just sidetrack a lot of things. But once you have to bring it back into reality, you hit the wall. You're still seeing that the world isn't there. The world still runs on Swift and like the old traditional payment rails. And if you go fully crypto, it still doesn't fit in. So for us, it's fundamental what we build works in the existing financial world. And it's important for businesses, I would say, because if you introduce risk and you have a service that is like not connected to the banking that you're using, you're introducing risk there, and that's not us. We have to be enablers, not adding risk to that system.
Yeah. Tell me, I want to ask you a question here on the wider agentic economy. I'd love to hear your take on where are we, how fast is it moving? As you said, you thought that there were use cases that would only be needed in at least a couple of months. We used to talk about years, but at least in a couple of months. But you've seen use cases pop up and that really just needs to be out there deployed right now. Can you talk a bit about adoption across the startup market? And I know that startups are a great ICP for you because they're fast adopters. They need this in a faster way than the incumbents. But I'd love to hear, what are your conversations with incumbents who are moving fast, who are saying, SolvaPay, I got to know what you're doing and I got to figure out how we can get that into our banking system.
There's quite a bit to unpack there. There are a few things that I can highlight. I call it lazily like the battle of protocols. So we have a lot of actors in this space. We have the LLM providers that have clients and they're now building out their own marketplaces. We can think about them as their own bubbles. So you have a lot of agents in here and they have services being surfaced, but they can only operate in this bubble. So if you have like OpenAI and has its marketplace, can't really like go outside of that and buy things in the Anthropic marketplace. And how does that relate to like the battle of the protocols? Well, what we're seeing is both the financial layer and the technology providers are like building out protocols. Some are more gate kept, like purpose built for this bubble. Some are more universal. And some are now being adopted and moved out and like, so MCP is an example. It differs than other like payment protocols specifically, but if we think about it from the perspective of how can we make something that is universally connectable, that can span this ecosystem, that is something that is really important for us. So if you have a business, you want to be able to sell and operate in all these bubbles, right? So who wins the protocol battle? We don't know. I think the universal protocols and the incumbents that embrace that, thinking about like the USB standard for this is what's going to drive mass adoption, and that's how we see it as well at SolvaPay. We want your business connect with us, and we'll make sure that you connect across all these different protocols, so you can sell and connect to all these different bubbles.
Viggo, before we close, I just want to ask you a bit about your roadmap. Tell me where you're headed. What does the next 12 months look like for you?
So it's a speed run of getting regulatory approvals. So I mean, we truly want to have some licenses that enables us to do more for our customers and actually go down on the transaction layer. Right now, we have great payment rails underneath, and we can do things like that. So that's a big part of it. Adopting and being that multi-pronged approach where we connect you as a business to sell inside of all these bubbles is a top priority for us. We have some cross protocols, but now we want to venture in and do deep integrations inside of all these bubbles. So for the next 12 months, that means that a business connecting and using our SDK or even a no-code solution that we have for MCP servers, that means that you can bill per tool call, etc. We'll be able to sell and operate in these new marketplaces that are taking shape.
Yeah. It sounds to me like we're looking into a future where your next customer isn't going to be a human, it's going to be an agent. And for that reason, I want to close this really quick announcement episode by saying to everyone out there that if you have a software as a service product, if you have an API or data set, it's already being scraped by AI, or if not, it's being unused. And that is quite a terrible state to be in. So go to check out SolvaPay and figure out how you can monetize your product in the agentic world. SolvaPay.com is your place to go to. That was a bit of a commercial. I wanted to, at least because we have so many people tuning in that are exactly your type of use case. So I think that they should definitely be checking out SolvaPay. Viggo, thank you so much for joining
me. With you. So like, don't be shy. Let us figure it out. Thanks, Andreas.
Amazing. Viggo, thank you so much and congrats on everything.
Thanks.